Good morning, everybody. We have a lively chat already in the pre-show. Good morning, Stripper, Dave, and obviously Jack. Red Hawk was here for a brief second. I'm not sure if he'll come back. But either way, it is Black Friday here in the United States. So if you're listening to this, I'm wearing my Tiger Fitness hat. I literally placed an order for almost $300 on Tiger Fitness, and I got so much free stuff with it. So if you're listening right now and you're looking to stock up on protein powders, supplements, pre-workouts, you name it, you can get it all through tigerfitness.com. They just added the Anna bars to their website, which are some of the best tasting protein bars you'll ever have. So make sure you head over there. You can get a ton of free stuff. If you place an order for, I think it's $250, you get you get a shaker cup, you get a 64-ounce steel bottle, a hoodie, and a shirt if you spend $250. I don't know what the exact order is for all this stuff, but you also get like a free copy of the performance fasting book. So lots of free stuff if you order off of Tiger Fitness. So make sure you go to the link below and place an order to get all that stuff. And not only that, just get the supplements. They literally have like everything there from all the different companies. There might be some companies that you use that don't see there, but regardless, head to that link below, go to deemfit.com. I know they have a big sale as well. And Fox and Sons Coffee, I think they're running a sale as well, but use code Kyle to check out all those places. I got my buddy Jack Napier with me today, so I'm real excited to talk to him again. He's been on the channel a whole bunch. We did a show together about 40 or 50 episodes ago, and that was the first time we talked, and we've become really, really good friends since. So, as always, all the links below to where you could find him, myself, and all that good stuff. Without further ado, let's get into it. And welcome back, Jack. What's up, man?
I'm doing well. You missed a golden opportunity there by mispronouncing my name.
Jack Napier.
Napier from Deutschland. At this point, it just stays funny where it's like, oh, aren't you supposed to let it go? No.
Yeah. No. There's some things you don't let go. So I'm pretty sure you've probably seen the picture. There's this one dude who called me a garage band podcaster mechanic, and ever since then that gets plastered I'm pretty sure that was my Twitter headliner for like months. Because I'm like, all right, yeah, if you're gonna throw that dig at me, I think that's pretty good. Like everybody else is like, yeah, that's actually a pretty cool descriptor.
It is. I mean, I remember AJ Cortez, he was called Walmart Fabio. He just ran with it. I was like, okay, Walmart Fabio, sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the wonderful part about having trolls on Twitter is that anytime they throw a name at you, you could always just run with it, and like they don't realize what they've done. So, the vast majority of the time, you just got to run with people's looks, or just kind of throw something out there and be willing to let it go. But some people get so mad when you run with it. But it's like, yeah, man, if you're gonna call me a garage band podcaster mechanic, I'm gonna post up all the big crowds we've played in front of, but I'm still gonna own that title.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I've been called Schindler's List personal trainer, so why not? Jack's scrawny. It's like, oh, sure. Hey, at least I'm not fat.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you could always have tits.
Fat. At least I'm not fat. So it's like, I don't care. Meanwhile, the guy who's trying to own me has got his arm like behind his bicep to look bigger. It's like, sure you do, buddy. It's like, let's go.
Yeah, I see the stuff that some dudes post of their physique. I'm like, could you just not? Like, I get it. You want to feel good about yourself, but like, oof, I don't know.
Did I ever show you that post though? The one I'm talking about?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I'll show you. I think I've got it somewhere. Somebody send it to me in a screenshot. Like, hey, did you see this? I'm like, no, but that's actually pretty funny.
Was that oh, who was it?
Let's see.
There was that stream you were supposed to do.
Yeah, that's the one.
He got so mad because you just canceled.
Because I canceled our date and canceled the date on him. Now he's mean.
Yeah, there's some places where some people where I'm like, man, I wouldn't want to be caught with you outside.
Yeah, but that it was kind of proving my point, There you go.
Yeah, well, yeah, like if somebody goes on an unhinged rant like that, it's like, man, I don't know. I may keep you at arm's length for good reason.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're proving my point, buddy. Check your DMs. It's in there.
All right. Yeah, so okay, so what is Is there like a Thanksgiving? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my
He's
god.
such a tough boy, tough man. Okay. Schindler's List personal trainer. It's like, okay, sure. Or
Ugh.
fitness. What was it? Fitness Ninja. Now I don't. Now I don't even. What was the text again? Let me check real quick. Fitness Ninja on Schindler's List. That was it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like to post that, just like the whole deal, it's embarrassing.
yeah. It's
Absolutely
like,
fucking
yeah, I'm
embarrassing.
proving my point. Where it's like, yeah, no, I was right to cancel. I was right.
Mhm. Yeah, man, like, some people need, like, a brand so fucking bad, and, like, that right there, it makes you look like a fucking Walmart brand when you post something like that. Like,
More
have
like a
some fucking class.
Wish.com brand kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah, actually, that's even worse. So, yeah, let's go with Wish.com. You're not even good enough for Temu. I see cool looking guitars on Temu, but
Dude, I've got this shirt off Temu.
oh, really?
Actually, it fits nicely. It makes my shoulders look big. And it's like, oh wow,
Oh,
now
yeah,
I
there you
actually
go.
look like I lift.
So we got I think I got a red dress shirt off of Wish and it didn't fit me. So we took Axton, my 90-pound Doberman Australian Shepherd mix, and we put it on him.
Aw.
I have that picture somewhere, but yeah, so we I got I tried to get bull ropes off of Wish, and I think I got ones that were like 6 feet long, whereas like your normal bull ropes are gonna be like 20 or 30 feet long, I think it is. Like, they're
Mhm.
huge. I'm like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with this? Like, am I gonna just, like, put it over my rafters and do pull-ups or something like that? Like, I can't fucking do shit with this."
Mhm. That's the downside of ordering online, especially on websites like that. You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's
Never
pretty hit or miss. I wanna say most things I ordered off Wish were miss, but I think with those bull ropes in specific, they actually sent me a refund for them because like, "Oh, we found out that you didn't get what you like, they marketed as. We're giving you a refund." I'm like, "Okay, well, you know what? I can respect."
That's nice. Not decent. Like I said, with the shirts, I got lucky because my normal Henleys came from H&M,
Mhm.
but H&M stopped producing them or whatever. I don't know what those tiny child hands in Taiwan do these days, but they don't make Henleys anymore.
Yeah.
And I was looking, I don't even know how I got there. I think I Googled something about like Henley t-shirt and I saw Timu and I'm like, oh, really?
Mhm.
And I immediately bought three. It's like, okay, let's go. And this one is a more like thicker
Mhm.
fabric. So it's nicer when it's cold, but I love it. I absolutely love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, maybe I should go to Temu because I was gonna buy some T-shirts off of, Amazon because I wanted to get just, like, plain military green, black, and gray, like, slim fit T-shirts,
Hmm.
but maybe I'll go there and see if I could find some. My only problem is that, like, if I go there, I'm scared that, like, they're gonna give me an Asian large, and I don't know if you ever, like, looked into this, but, I ordered they have shorts that have, like, a liner in them that have, like, a pocket sewed
Hmm.
into them. And I would always use those when I would go running because I could put my phone in, like, that pocket and it would stay tight to my leg and not, like, flop around and fall out of my pocket. So it's nice
Hmm.
to have something like that. And the way that they would size them on Amazon or, like, if you actually looked at, like, the size when you got them, my size, which is like a 32-inch, like a 35-inch waist on most, like, athletic shorts, um, in Asian size, that's like double XL. Because, they're so fucking small over there that, like, the average American is, like, probably, like, double the weight of the average Asian.
Pretty much. I do have a feeling, and it never really got confirmed, but when I was 17, 18, my shirts were a size S. I wore
Mhm.
small.
Yeah.
And then like later on, I started lifting and things like that. And I still had an S. I'm like,
Mm,
that can't be right. That can't be right. So I have a theory that through the years, they switched the labels that what
mm,
used to be a size M is now an S. So people feel better about themselves so that they can take one size smaller than they
mm.
actually are. I think.
Okay, yeah, I thought you were gonna go the opposite direction. I feel like here in America, we have, like, the shirt sizes are small. No, no, I think I'm making the same point as you. Am I just being stupid? Yeah, I think I
I
might
don't
be.
know. Did you like you were talking about pants and like
Yeah.
trousers with something in them? Do you know what
Okay, yeah.
scrunch bums are?
Yes, and
Bullshit. Absolute bullshit.
uh,
Heresy. False advertising. Lies, Kyle. Lies is what
yeah,
they are.
I gotta say they do look nice, but I get it. I get it. I've seen videos of
Lies.
girls who, they're like, "Oh, here's what you could do to make them look better," and they're like shoving the shit like straight up in their ass. Like,
This
oh,
is a worse
okay.
crime than
Mm.
push-up bras. You know, at least for
Yeah,
a push-up bra, you need some tits, but this is just
yeah.
heresy. Is
Dude,
like,
you know what? I don't know. Push-up bras sometimes can really exaggerate how much tit there is there.
uh,
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen some where like you're like, wow, I bet those look awesome, and then you see it and it's like, oh, there's like nothing here.
oh, yeah, that's my feeling with scrunch bumps, where it's like, how dare you? How the absolute nerve of you. It's
Mm,
like, no, no. I
there's a
will not deal with this. I've been looking at girls at the gym where it's like, you're
mhm,
wearing one, you're wearing one. Oh my, they're all wearing one. It's like, my
mhm.
God, land full of liars. If I ever hear a woman say again, like, men lie more than women, it's like, no.
Your entire physiognomy is built upon a lie.
Your existence is a lie. You know?
Marty. Yes, I'm thankful for good hair, but unfortunately, I don't have that. I just tried using my head shaver this morning with shaving
Mhm.
cream because I figured out it's a dry wet shaver. And actually, man, I'll tell you what, it did a good fucking job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A head shaver. There's a special shaver for your head.
Yes. So like it has like five I don't know if you ever seen like those face shavers that have like they have like three little circles on them.
I
The
mean, I
head
don't have a
shaver,
beard. I don't need to shave.
the it has like five of those. So basically like it almost like tapers to your head so that way you can kind of give it a nice good cut. Oh,
Oh,
he's
one
talking
of
about Jack's
those.
hair. Yeah, no, I figured you were, but yeah, Jack still has a pretty good setup up there. Why is
Just
everything
wait until I turn 30. I think it all will fall out.
Oh, no, no. You're 34, 35, right?
I I can still get away
29.
with it.
Okay, so yeah, you still got a few years left.
Yeah, exactly. Now, people at the gym keep saying, like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "Guess what? 26, 27?" It's like, "Sure, sure,
Whatever you say.
whatever you say." I'm like,
Yeah, so
This
most
is
people, when I start shaving my head, they're like, "Man, you look like you're almost like 40." I'm like, "All right."
um, uh, I was just blessed, I guess.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've got a little bit of a widow's peak, but I was
mhm,
afraid that I would lose the hair. But my barber like calmed me down. He's like, "Look, I've been cutting your hair for I don't know how long, and you've always had the same hairline,
mhm.
so you do not need to worry at all." I'm like, "Okay, good, good."
Yeah.
Plus, baldness doesn't run in my family at all. None of my
Yeah.
grandparents, none of my great grandparents. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, unfortunately, so whenever I have kids, I've thought about this because, like, okay, so my dad has a little bit of hair loss. Like he has a little bit like the bald spot up there and it recedes a
Mhm.
little bit, but I mean he still has some at 55 years old.
Hmm.
Um and obviously, I mean, I could still like grow some, but it's just it looks better if I shave it at this point, or at
Do
least I
you
believe that.
what's that band name? Strapping Young Lad?
Oh yeah,
You know
Devin
what I mean?
Townsend with the skullet. Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
no,
god.
I would have to purposefully shave the front of my head. Like, I would have to shave all that to get that. I think
Mhm.
he is just legitimately bald, but, I gotta give it to him because at least he went out on a limb and said, "Yeah, you know what? I'm bald, but it's fucking this. Check it
Yeah.
out, man."
Yeah, or is that like the sides? He only has the sides and the back, and he just
Yeah.
grows it out. It's like,
Mm.
what the hell is this?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's pretty
mm,
awesome.
he looks terribly old though.
Yeah,
But
well, now
that's
he's
not
just
just the hair, that's his face too, where it's like,
yeah, I mean, now he just rocks like a clean shave and bald,
mm,
and he doesn't look like that old now. Like he looks younger than he did back in the
oh,
Strapping Young
good.
Lad days. Yeah, Strapping Young Lad only had like something like one or two. No, they had a few albums. I know Devin Townsend is like a fucking insane musician. I mean, he has like he has his own solo project, and then he just announced another band that he's doing, and then he obviously did Strapping Young Lad, and I'm sure he probably has other projects. There's so many fucking albums that he's fucking put out, and he's also done like solo tours acoustically and shit. So that dude's insanely talented. But yeah, he definitely looks like 20 years younger than he did 20 years ago.
Mhm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like that song "Love," you remember that one?
Oh yeah, that song's so sick.
Great double bass pattern.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember listening to that when, the way I discovered a lot of the music that I listened to growing up and then still listen to this day, the music choice channels. So you would have, um, like your satellite cable and then your dish TV or whatever the fuck it was, and then you could go to like the menu and then browse through like all the pre-recorded shows that you could just play
Mhm.
or stream whatever shows, and then they had, like, all the music videos, and I would just go in there and go to metal and just hit on random songs, and I remember watching the music video for Strapping Young Lad Love when I was oh god, I had to be, like, anywhere from 12 to, like, 15 years old and just being like, "Oh, yeah, da 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 da, ticka 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 da, dow." Just like, "Yeah, man, it's pretty fucking cool."
It was, it was. I tried so hard to be able to drum that. I think at a certain point I was able to.
Yeah.
Can't remember. Like, there was a long period of time where I was really into the double bass stuff, and then I got kinda
Yeah.
bored with it, where it's like, yeah, it's like, and then sometimes you had nice patterns like Lamb of God, Ruin. Ruin was
Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, I'm not I didn't even try with Bleed by
Mhm.
Meshuggah. I
Uh,
don't even try that.
Yeah, you gotta have, like, a certain, like, mathematical bone in your body. I don't know if I told you this or anybody else this, so the day I went and I got my Raven cab that I now built into the cab that I'm using now,
Mhm.
there's an electronic drum set at the store, and Sarah pestered me up and down to get the drum set, and I'm like, "No, no, we can't afford it," or like, "I don't have the money right now, we're not gonna do this." So I sold my 2 by 12, and then I sold my little Line 6 practice amp. I'm pretty sure the
Okay.
next day she gets paid, and what she do? Goes over and gets an electronic drum kit.
Nice.
So,
Pretty
I've
good.
used it a couple times. It's actually pretty nice, so because I do enjoy playing drums a little bit. I'm not good at it. I used to be better, but, it is kinda cool to have it. I can't lie.
No, it is. Like I'm getting more excited about guitar
Mhm.
because like I was learning Looks to Kill and then we switched
Yeah.
to Shout at the Devil, the song,
Mhm.
which isn't that hard.
No.
But I looked at my guitar teacher and I told him like I feel like I'm missing something. He's like, "What do
Mhm.
you mean?" I'm like, "I feel like I'm missing the foundation that these songs are built upon." And he's like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
you're not wrong." Like, would it be a good idea if we take a step back? Like, yeah, I want to be able to play this entire album, but
Yeah.
learn more about like the foundation of these techniques. He's like, yeah, that is actually a very good idea,
Mhm.
but you pay me to do what you want. So it's like, so I learned Sunshine of Your Love, which is easy. Like do
Yeah.
do 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 do
Yeah, I mean,
do.
that's, like, one of the greatest guitar riffs of all time that
Yeah.
everybody knows.
Do,
Yeah.
do, do,
Yeah.
do, 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 do. It's not that hard. And now we're doing Day Tripper by the Beatles.
Mm. Okay,
And
so I'm
that's
not
also
familiar with
like
that.
the finger techniques and stuff like that. Like, it's not very hard, but you kinda have to get a feel for it.
Well, yeah, so one thing I always told people when they tell me they wanna learn guitar is, like, one of the biggest hurdles initially is mapping your body to the guitar, which, like, doesn't sound like it would be that hard, but it's just kinda like coordinating and then finding the way that your hand is gonna fit
Mm,
comfortably on the fretboard and the comfortable way to pick, and just once again, basically mapping your physiognomy onto the guitar so you understand how you best play, and that takes a long time before you get really comfortable with it, and then
mhm,
from there, you learn scales, you learn songs. Like, right now, I'm going back and I'm like trying to figure out how to finger scales differently to get different sounds and to kind of level up my soloing. Where like I
mhm,
can run scales up and down the entire fretboard and it sounds cool, but I mean it just sounds like you're and I can still change it up, add bends, do all sorts of neat shit. But I want to learn more patterns to kind of expand upon what I already know and what I can already do. So yeah, just like a lot of that is the bulk of learning guitar is just once again finding the way you play it and then learning how to work your hands around it.
oh, yeah, yeah, and get a PRS guitar.
Yes.
No, yes, get a PRS.
Yeah.
Like, every
Get a
time I'm at
PRS.
oh, yeah, every time I'm at Watson's place, I'm like, "Hey, can I?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, grab it." But just it taught me as well about like the differences in guitars and like the thickness of the neck and the
Mm,
smoothness of the fretboard and the distance of the frets, even where I was like,
yep.
this thing is just perfect.
Yeah.
For me, it's perfect. Like I
Mhm.
I remember playing like Squire and whatever. I'm like, these frets are like a little bit too far apart, and because like
Mm.
I don't have huge hands,
Yeah.
and I play at my guitar teacher, I play like a 1990s SG.
Mhm.
It's like a Gibson SG 1990s. That one is like smooth as hell as well,
Okay, yeah.
where it plays so nice. Where like
Ye
I'm highly doubting between either that Gibson SG or a PRS S2. Where
mm.
it's like, ooh, and the PRS S2 is like 25 grand or 2500. Where I'm like,
Yeah, if I were you in that position, I would look at Tom and
learn to
Music.
play first.
Well, yeah, that,
Maybe.
but, no, Tom and Music has a lot of guitars that I think are really good for beginners. They're very affordable and, like, their stuff is really, really nice, so I know I've showed you it before, but this one is one from Tom and Music, and I mean, like, that finish is just
Ooh,
gorgeous.
nice.
Harley Benton makes incredible guitars for the budget, and then on top of that, my 2 by 12 back here, this,
Ooh.
oh, Jesus.
Oh,
Right there, that is a Harley Benton 2 by 12, and that actually has, like, the cream of the crop guitar speakers in it, the Celestion Vintage 30s, that was, like, 240 bucks a couple years
oh,
ago.
nice.
So, yeah, just their stuff is, like, such a good budget, so, like, if you're just trying to get into it, then, like, their guitars are phenomenal for the price, and you can even get ones that are, I think, like, I wanna say, like, $800 from Harley Benton, but, I mean, those will play every bit as good as, like, probably, like, a $1,500 guitar, so, yeah, like,
My
most of mine are in the range of, like, 500 to 1,000.
my only problem with that SG is that it's like such a like a cringe form. You know what I mean? Where it's like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
that's fuck, what's his name? Angus Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Angus Young. Like, I would not want it in red. That's like by
Yeah.
default. If I would get an SG, it's not gonna be red. It's probably
Yeah.
gonna be blue or something, you know?
Mhm.
Where it's like, no, no, we're not going there. But that PRS, I'm like, holy shit, that
Mhm.
thing just plays so nice. And they have it
Oh,
in
they all
red.
do. Yeah.
Watson has the tobacco burst.
Yeah.
I've shown you a photo, but
Mhm.
apparently they have that in red as well. And I'm kind of like, look, if I actually get good,
Mhm.
which you know, what is good? Good enough,
Yeah.
I'd be like, you know what? I might just get that one. Where, yeah,
The Paul Reed
mm,
Smith finishes are always just absolutely stunning. Like I said, that Swamp Ash one that I have right there, that is, like, exactly the one I wanted. I was so stoked when I got it, but there's so many other sharp ones, like, they have, like, their red burst is gorgeous, they have, like, a purple one. Those Swamp Ash ones, though, for the price, you can't fucking beat that. I mean, that one I think was, like, $800, and
mhm.
the one thing about Paul Reed Smith, at least as far as I've played them, is that, like, when you start getting into the ones that are, like, couple thousand, I don't know or don't feel a significant difference between one that's, like, 500 to 1,000 compared to one that's $3,000. Like, I just when I play it, I don't feel the difference in price, you know what I mean? Like, there's some guitars where you definitely feel it, like, if you go from a Squire to a Fender, you'll feel the difference. If you go from, like, an Epiphone to a Gibson, you'll feel the difference. For Paul Reed Smith, I just don't notice it as much.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
good. That's
Yeah,
good.
well, so for you, you could buy a 500 to $850 PRS, and it'll still probably play damn near as good as the one for a couple $1,000, so it's just gonna depend, like, do you wanna spend all
Well,
that money?
it's
Oh my
it's also like
god.
the
She comes
finish.
bearing gifts.
No. Oh, there we go. Thanks, Sarah. No, but the what was it? It's the finish is what you see a lot.
Mm,
There's
yes,
a difference there. The
absolutely, yeah,
there's a difference in the fretboard, but it's mostly aesthetics. What I noticed is
yeah,
because you've got what was it? The head and the neck
mhm,
on the cheaper models different in color. Have
mm.
a difference in
It's
color.
probably because one might use, I think it's ebony, and one might use, what the hell's the other wood? I should know this, but yeah,
Rosewood,
maybe, well, so, like,
birch.
the one thing that you can, if you get a PRS that says PRS on top, then that means it was made in Korea. And there's still some that have like the signature Paul Reed Smith that are made in Korea, but like the ones that have the signature Paul Reed Smith, I think those are probably worth spending the little bit more money to get those. But like if you just get the PRS ones, they play good, but it's not going to play as good as the ones with the actual signature on it. So like,
Yeah, no, Watson's one's got the signature and everything. It's like, holy shit, that is an amazing thing.
okay, so yeah, this one was made in Indonesia, but as you could see, this still has the signature on it.
Mm-hmm.
The only bitch, and just because I'm spoiled with my Jerichos, I don't mind a bolt-on neck, but here I am.
I
Doing
know
my
what you
Tyler
mean.
Perk.
I know what you mean.
Like you cannot beat
No.
that neck joint. Like this is the reason why I play Jerichos more than Paul Reed Smiths, because like for the price, I mean that this was $650.
Mm-hmm.
And that finish is gorgeous, neck joints beautiful, like everything about this guitar is just like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know enough yet to like really geek out on it, but it's coming. It's coming. Like I said, my buddy Watson, like manager of the workplace in a
Yeah.
pristine guitar store. He man, you and him could talk for hours probably.
For sure. Well, yeah, like my latest thing to geek out on is speakers because um with my amp, I was talking to my one coworker who is big into this shit as well. And he kept telling me, he's like, man, speakers are like the vast majority of your tone. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like the amp probably drives tone a lot more. And I kept listening to like, I probably had to, these videos are anywhere from probably like 30 seconds to 5 minutes long. I had to listen to like hours of these videos of just like different speakers. And it will boggle your fucking mind how much the difference between like an Eminence, Man of War versus Celestion Vintage 30, a Mesa Blackhorn or Black Fog or whatever the fuck it's called, like all these different speakers, you would be amazed at how different they sound from speaker to speaker to speaker using the same amp, same everything, but just you put different speakers in it, it's completely different.
Really?
So
That makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. Well, yeah, but like I never thought about it because I always figured, okay, well, the tone, like the way they wire the tubes and the way the tubes respond to everything else, that's going to matter. And then, you know, you have your guitar with the different pickups. Like there's so many different things that go to the tone, but ultimately the speaker is like the vast majority of it. And I don't know, you know, I
Mm.
just look at a cab. I'm like, okay, that has speakers in it. You plug it in, you turn it on, you crank it up. Hopefully it sounds good. And, you know, the rest is kind of God's work from there. But no, I've like totally geeked out on the stuff. I have my notepad right here where I was drawing like a series circuit because I had to hook up a new cab, or well, that cab that I built. And now that I like learned how to do that, I'm like, man, I feel like smart now. Like I
Mhm.
should know electrical stuff, but I
Often
managed to
nine
get it to
times
work.
out of 10 you don't. Where it's like I had that with drumming where it's like certain tuning techniques where it's like I should
Mhm.
know this, but
Yeah.
like what do you normally do? I'm like, oh, you know what? I just tune them until I think they sound nice. Like I love that low sound in the toms. Like yeah,
Yeah.
especially lately, you have like these high pitched toms like ding ding ding.
I
It's
think
like
that's
no
because a lot of people are using digital drums now too.
that too, and like
Mm,
the toms are getting smaller and smaller. It's like if
yeah.
I ever were to buy a drum kit again,
Mhm.
it's gonna be a Tama Art Star. I don't care how I get it, but it's gonna be a Tama Art Star 2 with a 14-inch rack tom,
Ah,
16 and 18 floors, and a
mhm.
24-inch kick. Where it's like, yeah,
Oh, yeah,
we're
yeah.
going big.
I think
We're
that's
going
it. Vinnie Paul and Charlie Benanti, obviously stepping in for Vinnie Paul now, they always had the fucking big fucking kits, and I'm pretty sure they both used Tama, if I recall
yeah, no,
correctly.
Lars Ulrich back in the
Okay.
80s, same
Yeah.
thing. Dave
'Cause
Grohl
it's
back
always
in the
like yeah, it's like Tama or Pearl are like
oh,
the
yeah.
big 2. Yeah.
Always Tama drums. I used to have Pearl hardware because the hardware was pretty good. I did have an
Okay.
Iron Cobra pedal and for the hi-hat, but always Tama drums. I love the sound of it. I don't know what it was, and I tried Pearl. I've tried it out many times in stores, but I'm like, yeah, it ain't Tama. It
Mhm.
ain't Tama. Like, sorry to burst your bubble, but it just ain't. And especially those Aku tune hoops or Aku, however you want to pronounce it, Aku
Mm.
Aku tune hoops. They were like molded. No, not molded. They were plastic mold bass drum rings, hoops, and they were on the Tama Rockstars. I used to have a Tama Rockstar. I fucking love that thing.
Mm.
But the sound of that bass drum was just yes. You could hear it, you could recognize it.
Mm.
And that's what I loved about it. Unfortunately, they don't make Akutune hoops in 24-inch.
Mm.
Otherwise, I would have like spend hell a lot of bank on a Tama Art Star,
Mm.
but switched out the hoops to the
Mm.
cheaper ones because it's just that sound. It just sounds perfect
Yeah.
to me, at least.
Right.
It sounds cheap. Well, I am a bum, so
Yeah, but I mean, it's also about the sound you like. Like, a lot of people don't, or people love Chris Adler's snare, which has always
Ugh,
been kind of like weird to me
yeah.
because
It
it's like,
works,
yeah,
but
it works, but like people knocked Lars Ulrich's garbage can snare, reasonably so for Saint Anger. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I don't think Chris Adler's snare was like insanely far off. I mean, it was incredibly recognizable, but like,
The main difference is, I don't know if it's categorized as this though, but
okay.
Adler had more of a piccolo snare, and he had his snares on. Now, Saint Anger was a normal size snare drum, high pitched tuned without the snares. That's why that thing
Oh,
sucks so much, because
wow.
it is just a butchered snare drum, while
Mm.
Adler's is actually like there's reason to the madness. That thing is built to sound a bit
Is it
higher.
a piccolo snare? Isn't that like a smaller than normal?
Yeah, he's got like a
Okay.
12-inch snare or
Mhm.
13, and it's like very, very slender. Like my snare is
Okay.
14 by 16 and a half, which is like
Okay.
this. And I also have a 14 by 8, which is a
Okay. So
wooden
okay,
snare.
so you are more like a
Oh
Vinnie Paul style drummer then. The
Dave,
fucking
if I had to
big.
compare, which
Yeah.
is like don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I'm as good, absolutely not,
Mm,
but the closest that gets to my perfect drum sound is the Life and Loud Nirvana concert, where
mm,
Dave had his Tama Arts R2 with a Tama Art Wood 14 by 8 snare drum,
mm,
14-inch rack, 16-inch. Nope, wait. Could be that kit was a 16-inch tom and an 18-inch floor.
mm,
That could be the case too, because he went big. But I believe it was 14, 18.
mm,
But now I'm kind of doubting that it was snare was 14, tom was 16, floor was 18. That was a
mm.
gigantic thing, but the sound of that thing, Life and
Yeah.
Loud, sound wise, is still my favorite Nirvana concert. And they don't
Mhm.
even play Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, thank
They don't
God.
play no, but Senseless Apprentice of
Yeah.
that live show is just banger.
Mhm.
It just kicks in.
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit. Oof. It's perfect.
Yeah, bands don't really do like live albums that much anymore. And like nobody makes like live DVDs. I think mostly because like everybody goes to YouTube to watch television and just shows and shit like that. But like I'll tell you what, they're probably over there in my room right now where either they're downstairs on our little bookshelf beside the fireplace. But I have all these DVDs. I have the Doom Troopin' from Black Label Society, which I think was put out in 2008. The Ultimate Gwar Archive, which is every single Gwar music video from the
Yeah.
formation of the band up until 2004. And that's where like all my tickets and pics are from when I was a kid, and, went all these concerts. Now everything's digital, but like, I have everything in there and it's really cool signed stuff too.
Mhm.
The Hell Yeah DVD. And then, of course, how could you ever forget Dime Vision 1 and 2 and the Pantera Vulgar home videos? Like, if anybody out there has ever like watched some of this stuff, it's so fucking cool because like you get to see like in the life of the band, like Pantera with the Vulgar home videos. They build these giant paper mache pot plants. They're lighting off fireworks at the hotel. They got
Nice.
BB guns blowing shit up inside the fucking hotel room. I'm
Oh,
like,
man, that
this
reminds
is
me of
cool.
Philadelphia by Lamb of God. Have you seen
Yes.
that? That one
Yeah,
was just
fucking Randy and Mark beating the shit out of each other inside
Oh,
the bus.
yeah. Oh, yeah. They had oh, Jesus. Yeah, they had an
Yeah.
absolute fight on that one. I used to have a shirt by Philadelphia. There was a guy in high school who I loved to hang around with.
Yeah.
He had a Philadelphia shirt, and at a certain day, he just gave it to me. He's like, "Yeah, you've been eyeing this shirt for ages. Here you go." It was way too big for me,
Mhm.
way too big, but I loved it. I just
Yeah.
loved it so much. He
Yeah,
was kind of
there's
like a surrogate brother to me. Like he
uh
was the cool guy.
yeah.
Played drums as well.
Mhm,
I learned I got to know a lot of good bands via him. We got arrested together. And
Oh, Jesus.
then my dad was like, I don't want you to hang around him anymore. And then he showed up at my home and my dad was like, "Oh, you want a biscuit?"
Mhm.
It's like completely forgot. My dad completely forgot it was him. And he
Mhm.
stood there like, thanks, sir. I'm like, yeah, he forgot. He's like, oh, thank God. But no, those were the days. Those were the days. It's such a shame. There is a photo of me and an old girlfriend where she is holding my symbol bag, and it's just the
Mm.
most amazing photo you would ever see.
Yeah.
Like this
It's
this short blonde,
mhm,
nice rack holding my symbol bag with me
mhm,
standing next to it, like a head over her. She
mhm.
she gets a here with me. I just stand there next to her, like head over her head. So it's amazing. I asked a buddy if he could find the photo, but he's like he couldn't find it, which is a shame. It's just a flex. I would like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, eat a dick, guys. I was how old was I? Like 21 ish.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is what I was pulling at 21. Your turn.
Mm. Yeah, I I've said this before, not that I would change anything that I've done relationship-wise, but I'm like, "Man, I wonder how things would have gone in an alternate timeline had I lost the, 70 pounds that I lost and, played in a Common Crown and wasn't with my wife the entire time." Like, man, sometimes there's that question there, but I'm like, "Ah, you know what? I'm glad for my life,
I
though, either
I
way."
mean, be happy. That
Of
is all
course.
I'll say is be happy. I have a coworker,
Yeah.
and he's like, I kind of want my girlfriend to lose weight, and I kind of give him some advice. It's like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's what you can do. But he and I were talking about the dating thing. I'm like, just be happy you're not single, man, because it's
Mhm.
not neat out there. Like,
And
ever,
that's the counterfactual right there, too.
yeah, where it's like, just be happy with what you got, and not saying like settle for less. I'm not telling him to settle for less, but would you really wanna go out there, start again, go through all the trash? I mean, ever since
Mhm.
last year, I'm kinda like, I'm kinda done.
Yeah.
Where it's like every now and then I throw a line out, but my patience has just ran so dry
Yeah, and see,
that
that's what I remind myself of frequently is that, like,
yeah,
I think everybody sits there and questions their decisions every here and there, and for me, I pretty quickly come to, like, the conclusion that, like, I wouldn't change a thing. Like, I'm
no, but like
very, very grateful.
yeah, even for me, like, after I picked myself back up, I just went so hard.
Bull.
I embraced
Sorry, yeah, the dirty sleuths. Dumpster dive.
I mean, Bull Rush doesn't have standards, you know? He just doesn't give a damn, doesn't have a pulse, and
There was
even with
a
that's debatable.
There's a dude I went to college with, and I remember him telling me, he's like, "Yeah, man, quantity over quality all day, every day." He's like, "If there's 1 6 or 2 threes, I'm going for the 2 threes every single time."
Goddamn, brave man. But, like, I have been focusing so much on, like on writing a lot,
Mhm.
and my Substack is getting good. I'm actually happy with what I'm writing these days where it's like, "Oh, this is actually pretty good." And
Yeah, well, and it seems like you're getting returns on that too.
no, well, even my editor is like, I didn't have to do much. It's like, "Ah,
Mhm.
you're actually picking it up." It's like, "Oh, well, good, good." But financially, I'm focusing way more on that.
Yeah.
The gym again, and I'm kinda like, work is amazing. I love the job I have, even though,
Mhm.
like, it's not the most best paying job in the world, but it's a fucking
But
awesome
you like
job.
it. Yeah.
It's only a 2-minute commute. What more do I want?
Yeah.
Like, really, what more do I want? And, but like I said, every now and then I throw a line out there, but it's usually 1 or 2 sentences, and I go, "No, thanks." Or it's like,
Yeah.
you just it's like I had an article a while back, women stepping on their own clit.
Yeah, I
It's
remember.
a more common phenomenon than you think, man. It's a
Mhm.
more common phenomenon than you think, where it's like, you just had to say that, didn't you?
Well, our mutual friend there, Nuke, always says that, like, one of the scariest things to women is a man's expectations.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think a lot of women, if even if there is like a mutual interest between you and her, I think that whenever they find out that you have like some expectations of, like a mutually beneficial relationship and she doesn't meet your standards, then it's like, oh, like, oh.
Yeah. It's like, no, no, no. I don't know, man. Just it's like I said, I'd rather take a nap these days. And I know it's like, oh, evil red pillar Jack Napier. It's like, yeah, no, I've seen more than enough. I've seen more than
Mm,
enough shit. Maybe now is the time for a reconciliation where it's like, yeah, we're gonna write everything down and we'll see afterwards. I've got better
mm.
things to focus on. But like the guy who I work with, I told him, like, look, is your biggest gripe that she could lose a bit of weight? Because that can be achievable
Yeah, that
easily.
that can be fixed.
That can be easily fixed.
Mhm.
Would you really dump her for going back out there, trying and trying and trying, being disappointed? He's like, nah, not really. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Then you just need a certain set of skills. And trust me, you have to get over a couple of hurdles mentally because it's not always nice the things you have to do to get your girlfriend to do something.
Yeah.
Like dread isn't always fun, but if you want her to lose weight, become the most jacked version you can be.
Mhm.
Like become attractive, don't be unattractive. And I told him, I'm like, you'll see how fast she'll lose weight. He's like, yeah, but isn't that mean? I'm like, I mean, why is
Yeah,
that
well,
mean?
okay, well, why are you concerned about that? Are you
Yeah,
concerned
like
about what you want, or are you concerned about how other people feel?
I even
I
asked him,
suggest
like,
that, yeah.
I asked him, like, did you ever reject her for sex? He's like, no. I'm like, you know what? Give it a try. Hotep Jesus had a horrible one. Don't know if you know this one, but he was busy with his girl, and then like in the middle of it, he's like, I can't do this.
Mhm.
And he just stood up and left the room. And she was
Yeah.
like mental, like, what? What? Why? What?
Mhm.
What? It's like, I mean, it's a bit hardcore, but it works.
Mhm.
But it works. But it's like, yeah, you have to choose if you want to cross that boundary, or
Mhm.
cross that hurdle, you know.
Yeah, I think that's something a lot of guys don't wanna, like, give themselves permission to do, is actually, like, think about themselves first and what ultimately their goals are. Like, I've seen this so many times with, guys who, are in bad relationships. And there's a situation that I'm aware of, and I'm not gonna lay out details. This is nobody like online, but just somebody I know where their girlfriend treats them like absolute dog shit.
Mhm.
And then like another girl came by and like clearly had interest in him, and he just 100% oblivious to it because we normally are, unless
Mhm.
it's like right in front of our face. But like this girl asked this guy to go out for drinks, and he did, and then she, like, messaged him right after and said, "Oh, we should go out for lunch sometime, it made my entire day that you came out to see me." And
Aw.
then, like, his current girlfriend is treating him like just shit, freaks the fuck out on him, like, has cameras in his fucking house to watch your dogs, and, like, just fucking awful. And it's
Ooh.
like, what do you want now? Because now, like, okay, the situation you're in now is fucked up, but you can get out of that situation. I understand it's comfortable, you've been there for a few years, but, like, you can live a life of quiet desperation and wanna get treated better, or you could just go, out into the world and figure out something else out, and this dude's
That
only, like,
that
25.
reminds me of my very first girlfriend.
Yeah.
She was an absolute bitch. She was. Not even, like, looking back on it, like, she was the one who, like, ran a knife through my Lamb of God T-shirt.
Mm.
Yeah, I hit it straight out of the park with the first one where it's like, "Ah, okay, we're gonna scar this kid for life." I haven't learned a thing,
Mhm.
but she was just such a bitch, really. And I went out with a friend of mine, and then we met a couple of girls, and she was just so nice to me, and she was hot,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "What am I doing? What am I doing?" Like,
Mhm.
there's this girl who's actually nice to me, who actually looks better, who's showing way more physical interest in me as well.
Mhm.
Why am I here? And I was already texting with this girl, and it was obvious. And I'm like, yeah, okay, if I continue any further than this, I will be legitimately cheating. So
Mhm.
I broke up with the other one, which the other one did not like. But that was just one of those moments where I was like, why would I be unhappy? Why would I choose to be unhappy?
Mhm.
You know? That is a horrible choice to make.
Yeah, but people make that decision though because it's comfortable. It's
Yeah, exactly.
sometimes you're complacent, and that happens a lot to people, and they don't realize it. And I mean, that happens with jobs, that happens with friendships, that happens in all
Even
kinds
with
of
health.
situations.
It happens with
Yeah,
your health. It's
right,
like, you don't have to be miserable. You
right.
can take a walk. You can take
Mhm.
a walk. You can take a bike ride. You can
Yeah.
eat a steak instead of, I don't know, like deep fried carbs,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, you can eat a steak. You don't have to mess up. But no, comfort, familiarity. That's the
Mhm.
big one, familiarity. I did a whole show on the Yu-Gi-Oh divorce guy. He's
Mhm.
like, "I did it out of love." I'm like, "No, you didn't. You did it out of desperation. You did it out of fear of being alone." Now, like, not shitting on the guy, but like, know the difference.
Yeah.
Know the difference. You know, but for a lot of guys, they hold the keys to their own cell without even realizing it.
Mhm. It's learned helplessness.
Yeah, quote dad.
Yeah, like you said, it's familiarity because people kind of get used to that, and they figure, okay, well, this is the path of least resistance right now. And sometimes making that jump out into the unknown, quote unquote unknown, is a lot scarier than staying in your current quiet misery and desperation. And like our Mish always writes about employment and stuff like that. And I should read his Substack more because I do find these kind of workplace dynamic stuffs to be very, very fascinating. And it's something that like you don't hear a lot of people talk about like, hey, here's how you can get more out of your job. Here's how you can get more money. Here's how you can maximize this or that. Like that is a fucking important life skill. And it's something that I've always kind of known. I haven't talked about it as much, but you know, sometimes going into your boss and telling them like, I will quit if you don't give me what I want. Sometimes that fucking nuclear button is 100% necessary to get exactly what you want. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes people are scared to do that because they're scared of the reaction, but it's like, why do you care? If they
Well,
fire you, then you can always go somewhere else. Which you should be employable enough, you should have skills that you can market yourself and be fine anywhere. I mean, that's what I've strived to
well,
do in like my automotive career.
that's kind of the beauty of Misha's work.
Yeah.
Mish really knows how to apply red pill maxims to the workforce. And he and I even talked about that. He's like, look, Jack, view your job as your woman. As soon as you start doing that, doors will open. I'm like,
Mhm.
huh, interesting. And that's how he views it, where it's like, be unattractive, don't be unattractive. The reason why you are stuck in the dead end job is because you're not attractive and you're
Mhm.
unattractive.
Right.
Like, you're unemployable except for there.
Right.
You are unlovable except for there. You are unattractive except for there. Work on yourself, become valuable to the company, and then, only then, are you allowed to make demands,
Mhm.
kind of thing. Like at my job right now, I won't say I'm that far yet, but I'm getting there where it's like I'm the guy who's got the most hours on location
Mhm.
and puts in most of the work, knows almost everybody who comes there, things like that. Like, I made sure that I kind of got a finger in every bowl. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I know of that, I know of that, I know of this, I know of that, but, so that anybody anywhere could come to me and I would have an answer.
Mhm.
That whenever shit hits the fan, it's like, yeah, but I'm the only one who knows.
Mhm.
I'm the only one who knows how to do it, who can do it,
Right.
who has shown the competence of achieving it. So,
Yeah.
what's the plan?
Yeah, and that goes to the larger thing that I think you and I are kind of circling around here is that like when I was in college, I remember thinking, well, actually even before then, like when I first started in the first dealership I ever worked for, I observed what other successful people did. And I
Mhm.
said, okay, what did they do to become absolutely indispensable to that dealer? Like you could not replace this guy. Okay, so they got all their certifications. They do stuff that most other people don't do. They have all this paper and whatnot. I'm like, okay, so when I go to college, I'm going to do every single one of those things. And that way, whenever I graduate, any dealership I want to go to at any time, they're like, whatever you want, whatever it takes to roll your toolbox through our garage doors, we will do. And that should be the objective of like every single job, every single job you go into is that you're that guy that they do not want to get rid of. So like
Mhm.
right now with General Motors, for each like dealership, you have to have so many hybrid certified techs or electric vehicle certified techs, so that way you can take deliverance of Hummer EVs, Lyrics, or electric vehicles. Period. Okay, so
Mhm.
if I were to walk out of my dealership tomorrow, then they would not be able to take deliverance of EVs anymore because you need 2 hybrid certified guys.
Mhm.
Okay, so and it's not like I'm sitting here throwing this in their face, but like, okay, so when I went in for my last race, I told my boss, "Hey, I'm not going to leave, but I do have multiple dealerships calling me at this point. Just give me a little something, please, dude. That's all."
Yeah.
And then like, this is another thing I'm very grateful for, and I speak at this ad nauseum, even with the people I work with. Like, we have such a good group of guys. There is no ego. Everybody helps each other out, even though like we don't get paid to help each other out because we're flat rate. It's
Mhm.
in our interests because we know that we have a fucking awesome group of guys that we're gonna help each other out. I'm not leaving. Nobody else plans on leaving. Let's all work fucking together. So I'm not going anywhere. Just like all that kind of stuff. It makes me grateful for the workplace that I'm in. And then on top of that, my boss went out of his way to fight to make sure I got a raise, which like I've never had a boss that did that for me before. So just when you get in a situation like that, it goes back to the whole situation with a girlfriend. Like if your biggest bitch is that she could lose a pound or two,
Mhm.
just think about that before you say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna burn all this and then start all over again," 'cause there's no guarantee that what you get next is gonna be better than what you have now,
You
and
have to
sometimes it
become
takes a little bit of consideration.
irreplaceable.
Yes.
Be a luxury brand, and that's the
Mhm,
same for work. Like, right now, everybody knows me there as the most social guy. Like, he's always
mhm,
welcoming, he's always social, he's always talkative, he gets shit done, blah, 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 and it's like, always friendly, whatever. And that a lot of members noticed that,
yeah,
which is good that when there is an issue, they'll come to you. Now, of course, every now and then you've got the stuck up bitch. Like I had one this morning, like used the Smith machine, didn't clean up her weights. Like, hey, huh? Like, are you done with the Smith machine? I wasn't that snarky. I'm like
mm,
pissed. I'm a bit in a mood now, so I sound more snarky. But I'm like, hey, are you done using the Smith machine? She's like, yeah. I'm like, would you mind re-racking your weights? She's like, oh, sure. And then she left later on. I'm like, "Hey, enjoy your day." And she's like, just completely ignored me. I'm like,
yeah.
"Son of a bitch."
But I mean,
Have
once again, you did that because you knew it was the right thing to do. You didn't do that
no,
because
I
you
knew it
wanted
was
her to
her.
kiss your ass.
It's like I knew it was her. Even then, there was a giant, bald, jacked guy, tattoos up to his ears, from the fucking waist down to his ears.
Yeah.
And he forgot to re-rack his weights on the incline bench. And there was a
Mhm.
hefty weight on there. So I walk up to him. He looks at me. He's like, sup? Like, hey, didn't you forget something? He's like, what? I point at the bench. He's like, oh shit. Like, you okay if you re-rack it next time? He's like, oh, I'll do it now. Like,
Mm.
oh, don't worry, it happens. We're human. We
Yeah.
forget something. It was so nice, so pleasant. Greatest
Yeah.
guy. Greatest guy you'll ever see. Amazing lifter.
Mhm. Yeah, and like people people will generally do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
But my
what.
coworkers were afraid of him. It's like, oh, he blah blah blah, this and that. I'm like, guys, come on.
What
But
okay,
it's
yeah,
so
what
weird that a
yeah,
huge guy was so much more friendly than some. Well, what was she? Maybe a six with a good body. So
yeah.
eat a dick.
What yeah, when you would be able to answer this actually better than me, but like, okay, so the gym I go to, I think I've told you, and I don't know if I've talked about this on air, but like Justine Albert is a IFBB bodybuilder who owns the gym that I go to, and she's
Ooh.
super, super cool. She's a sponsored model through Accent Sledge, but her and her husband are just like the coolest, sweetest people ever. But like she's fucking diced. I mean, like, once again, literal IFBB pro. And then her husband is fucking jacked as well. I mean, they're just fucking awesome. Yeah, Jack Smith.
Oh,
um,
cool.
but they're sincerely the nicest people ever. But it once again, you would think that like these big jacked people are like dickheads or something like that. Every single more muscular dude in the gym wants you to come up and talk to them about exercise stuff because guess what? We love this shit.
Yeah.
This is like our passion. So if you want to know something, don't be afraid to go ask somebody. The vast majority of the time, they're going to be stoked to help you out because they realize like, oh, I can help this person because like I'm sure you feel the same way. But like for me, one of my big passions is health and fitness. So, like, if there's somebody who's in a little bit more of a rough shape or, could lose a few pounds, could put on a little bit of muscle, if they want to know something, hey, man, I'll do whatever I can to give you some information. And then you can decide if you want to use this to help you get to a better weight or anything like that. I do think it's a little bit much when people do it unprompted. Like like somebody goes up to somebody that's learning how to work out. But like
Oh,
if
we
you
have one
ask,
of those in our gym.
yeah,
He
don't
gives
do
out his number to people like, "We'll train together and I'll show you."
don't do
And
that.
I had a couple of guys I had to ask them like, "Hey, is he bothering you?" Because
Uh-huh.
you can just tell him no, you know. "Ah, no." Like he gave his number, I just threw it out. It's like, "Okay, good. Okay, good."
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, some I don't know what that is,
Mm,
like that incessant need to feel heard or something. Well, it
yeah.
says us, by the way, with our podcast, thinking we're interesting enough to view. Where it's like, I have a podcast. Why? You're so interesting. Oh, not really, but you
Yeah.
know. But I don't know what it is. They're kind of pushing themselves upon people. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know what that is about. I don't know, but you just kind of ignore it. It's like, yeah, yeah, sure, sure, and you move on with your day, and then
Mhm.
they just do their thing. But of course, everybody else is on roids, and everybody else doesn't get it, and I'm amazing. It's like, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mm.
we get it. You're cool. Now fuck off.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some people in my gym that are a little bit obnoxious, like, I'm thinking of 2 people and specifically, like, when they
No,
talk to other people, they, like, shout, and I'm like, "Can you, like, not?" Like,
no.
it's not
I'm
like an
gonna check
aggressive
real
shout.
quick if my heater is on. I'll still hear you, but yeah, they're
Yeah, you're
shouting.
alright.
I
Yeah,
can
like,
hear you.
people will, fucking scream at people from across the gym, like, "Can you please just not?" Like, I get it, I have headphones in and stuff, but, like, I don't know, people being obnoxious, like black people in movie theaters, I'm like, "Ah, dude, I'll pass." Just I wanna be able to work out somewhat in peace, like, if I could work out in the mornings at, like, 4 AM at all at all times and not have to worry about getting to work on time and shit like that, oh, I would love it, but unfortunately, that's not the world I live in.
I always thought you had a home gym, but
I do, but it's not as stacked as I want it to be. So I have what the hell is it? A Bell's a steel trap bar, which has like the opening in the front so you could push it up easy to put the weights on.
mhm.
Um, I have a total of probably close to 400 pounds of weights. I got my X3 bar, obviously, and all the accessories for that. A pull up dip and leg raise thing. What else? I do have a bench in the garage. I have a weight stack thing, but I wanna get, like, a power cage with, like, a cable crossover on it where you could put up and down the, attachments on it, and then I'll probably be pretty happy with that. I'm probably gonna buy one soon, and I would absolutely love to have a, leg press slash hack squat combination. That's like 1,100 bucks, but
Oof.
I'm thinking about it.
I can imagine a campered bar would be nice.
Oh, love the camper bars.
Now those would be nice. I've been experimenting with incline, like
Mhm.
what Mike Iswertel mentioned, that you only need a low incline for
Yeah.
proper all round bench development. I've been trying that out. And with dumbbells, it's absolutely amazing. But like
Mhm.
with the normal straight bar, you do feel like you're kind of missing a little bit. Just that
Yes, okay.
little bit of stretch at the bottom.
Yeah, so my gym has, like, it's like a black cambered bar, and, yeah, for incline, you feel like you're getting the most out of it when you use the cambered bar because just how fucking far the stretch goes. I almost never do a straight bar incline just because, like you said, you feel like you're missing something.
Hmm. Yeah, like, but I'm not a big fan of dumbbells.
Mm.
Like, they're great. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, the balance, everything. Although that is a thing you need to train.
It's more of a compliment than it is like a staple.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like nothing beats um looking awesome while benching a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Like it just nothing looks awesome. But like for the most well-rounded pec development, dumbbells kind of give you most bang for your buck.
Mm.
It's hard to do 5x5 with dumbbells.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably chuck up the 100-pound dumbbells. I could probably do more than 5 by 5 with that, but
Ooh, nice.
at the same time, like, also when you start thinking about, like, going for that 1 rep max with dumbbells, I'm like, "Man, all it takes is one little tweak, and next thing you know, your shoulder's done. You
Dude,
are fucked.
I'm always afraid that that dumbbell will slip out of my hand on my face.
Oof,
I don't
oof.
know why. It's just a mm. I was like, I love benching,
Mm.
but I'm also completely terrified of it. It's like I'm not terrified of
I think
squatting.
it's part of the reason you love it.
Well, I mean, it goes it goes with my other how do you phrase that? There is a joke in there. There is a
Mhm.
joke in there. It fits well with my other interests. Like I fear it, but I love it. It's like, but I don't have it with squat, where it's like, yeah,
Mhm.
no, I'll be safe. Deadlift, same thing. But bench, I remember my buddy benched 315 with a slingshot.
Mhm.
And even he was like, look, having 315 hanging above your head, that's different. That's different.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm able to get 315 down to the chest and off. I just can't lock it out. I've tried probably a few times. Last time when I went in and benched this past Sunday, I did 285 just for one rep, and it felt comfortable. Best I've been able to do was 285 by 3, but that was kind of like at the height of when I was really dialed in on like powerlifting.
Mhm.
Um, I'm working my way back up there. I did conventional deadlift again yesterday for the first time in forever. I got up to 450 pounds,
Mm.
which normally like my working volume was 500, and then obviously my one rep max was 535. But I'm kind of working my way
You
back into
think you
that.
got 600 in you?
Mm, mm.
Mm,
I'd
mm.
probably have to get pretty fat to get 600. Fatter than I'd wanna be. Like, I was able to do with the trap bar because that's what I was really focusing on at the time. I think it was 190 pounds, 190, 195, and I was able to get 500 by 3 with the trap bar. So, I could probably with the trap bar, I could probably get 600. I don't know if I'll ever get 600 conventionally.
Hmm. Fair. I remember Silent Mike hitting his first 600 deadlift. Man was
Mm.
so happy. Omar Isuf, you remember them?
Oh, yeah. Well, he was doing Iron Culture podcast with, Eric Helms, which is
Oh yeah.
fantastic. That is an awesome podcast. I think they've even had Menno on before.
Oh yeah,
Um,
they probably had.
they they had my
Omar worked very well with Menno.
yeah, my buddy, Max Coleman, funny enough, who's been on this show a couple times, he's done Iron Culture, and to me, that was kinda crazy because 'cause I'm like, "Oh, he was on my show," like, I think I was, like, one of the first podcasts he ever did, and then, like, a couple months later, he's on, the one dude from Australia, I think,
Chris?
no, what the hell's the podcast called? It has, like, an orange background. Steve Hall is the dude who hosts it, Revive Stronger, that's it. Revive
Oh, oh.
Stronger, yeah. He's been on Revive Stronger a handful of times, he's been on Iron Culture, so, like, just, seeing him kinda rise up, and I think I might have told you before, but he studied under Brad Schoenfeld, 'cause I emailed Brad Schoenfeld to get him on, and he's like, "Hey, unfortunately, I'm busy, but here, you could have this guy to go on the show." I'm like, "Okay, cool, what the hell? Why not?"
Mhm.
And, yeah, me and him hit it off real well, and, yeah, he's just been making the rounds all over.
Mm. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's neat. I mean, those are. I mean, we're not doing so bad. Like if
Mhm.
you've had those guests on, I mean,
Yeah.
we're progressing. We're
Yeah,
progressing.
I mean, that's what matters. Yeah, I mean, I was telling somebody the other day, I did my friend Brent's podcast, and I don't know if he's gonna air it because he said there was an issue with Riverside. I'm like, man, I fought tooth, nail, and claw over 3 years to get over 1,000 subscribers. And like there are other channels that do way better numbers of that, way faster than me, but
100 subs in a year, where it's like, I don't know how you do it. I'm at this for 5 years, and
Mhm,
I'm almost at 3,500.
mhm.
Almost. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but eh,
Yeah,
eh.
I'm the same way. I get to talk.
As
Yeah,
long as we keep going,
yeah,
I guess, because what's the goal? Like, I've always liked the idea of being able to earn at least minimum wage off YouTube.
yeah,
I'm not there. I don't know how they do it. Maybe it's the advertising, which is horribly low. I mean, if you do it like Cappy, you just get super chats all the time.
yeah,
But Cappy trained his audience through the years very well. Where it's
yeah.
like, I will not acknowledge you unless you pay me, which is
Well,
smart.
yeah, well, and on top of that, I mean, he's been doing that for like a decade,
10
right?
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's been a
Very
writer.
for 12, something like that. But Cappy and Ryan to me were always my examples when it came to like YouTube and this stuff. They never sold out.
Yeah.
They never chased the clout. They made the content and the audience came. And
Right.
that was it. And especially Cappy.
Mhm.
Cappy just worked hard for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I commend that. Instead of like, now, of course, work smarter, not harder. I get it. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know how to work the algorithm.
No.
I know there are plenty of people who do. I don't know the secret to it. The one I still have is stay consistent and just keep showing up.
Yep.
That's the only one I know. Like you can pay for subs these days, but I find it so unappealing that you have 12,000 subs and get 9 live viewers
Yeah.
with 12,000 subs.
Right.
And then some dipshit from the Netherlands who's got a fourth of your channel gets double to sometimes triple the live viewers when he's screaming about something in his apartment. It's like something is wrong here. And they've got like these high-tech developed whatever camera like high quality photos and thumbnails and everything
Mhm.
and studios, and then you look at it and you're like, all this effort for what? I was like, okay. And then you look at Cappy. I remember one of his earlier videos, just in his fucking yard with a broken lawn chair, bottle of scotch on the metal table. You can hear the creaking everywhere. Writing and reading his manifesto on vasectomies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that man is it. That's the man right there. Does not give a fuck. Does what he does best. And I am grateful, very thankful to call Cappy my friend. I really am. Where it's like, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, and that's something I've noticed amongst most people that I, like, respect, that have sizable audiences, is that, like, the vast majority of them, the pattern I noticed is that they just kept going, and then the audience came. Like, they start off from very humble beginnings, and then, people along the way notice their talent, and they may have got a hand over here and there, but there was no chasing the clout. And somebody that I talk about a little bit, my friend Dave Smith, who's been on Rogan a whole bunch and all that.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
Same way on air as he is off air. And then, he's not afraid to tell audiences that may be hostile to some of his ideas, the way that he feels about stuff. Just over time, he was consistent in his message. And then if he changed his mind on something, he was honest about it. Like people like that, I respect. Or like Lane Norton is another one where, he says that people ask him how he got big. And he's like, yeah, I just kept showing up. He's like, I started on building forums, answering questions and doing all this stuff for years and years and years. And then just over time, the audience came and they know what to expect. They know who I am. Um, you just, if you want to make it in this kind of situation, it is just, hey, you could chase the cloud, but like those people that I noticed that chase the cloud, it's kind of like they have like this huge blow up. They have like this big old flash. They make a shitload of money, and everybody gets their eyes on them, and then they go away, and then nobody
What's the
cares about them.
comparison again? A slow burning candle versus a bright shining flame?
Yeah, something like
Something
that.
like that. And they're shining bright candles. And then what? You end up needing to pivot to the chosen people, the people in the small hats.
Yeah, either that or like you end up. I'm thinking of someone. I'm guessing you could probably guess who this is. You go from subject to subject to subject, and you bring along just this fucking audience full of assholes, and they come to expect you to be an asshole to people. And like, I don't know, man, that's never been my deal. Like, I'll talk shit on Twitter, but like, if you're on my podcast, you're doing me a favor, right?
Yeah.
You're coming here for a conversation. I want to enjoy your company. I want you to enjoy my company, and we're gonna have a conversation. And yeah, there may be like some goals or something that we talk about along the way, but like the vast majority of the time, if you're coming on my show, it's because I want to have a conversation with you. It's not
Mhm.
because I'm looking to get eyes or clout. And this is something that you pointed out to me on Red Evening, the first time that you had me on Red Evening, is that like,
Mhm.
did you have them on for the clout or did you have them on because you want to have them on? I
Yeah.
can proudly say that for the vast, 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 vast majority of the guests, I could say, yeah, I want to have a conversation with this person.
Yeah. Let me think. Was there somebody? Everybody I ever had on was because I actually wanted to talk to them.
Mhm.
Jack Donovan was the hardest interview I ever did because for some odd reason I couldn't get him to talk in the beginning. And
Mhm.
maybe I think that was mostly because I was too serious.
Yeah.
It's like where I took him too seriously and not like, of course, like he's Jack Donovan,
Yeah.
but I just love to talk to him about his books, which are, I don't know. Have you ever read them?
I read the first one, The Way of Men, right?
Yeah. Oh, that is a good one. But all three
Yes.
of them are very good.
Yeah.
But just had a hard time like getting him to talk, and I didn't know why. And then at a certain point, I was like, "Oh, fuck it." And he mentioned a tattoo parlor next to his gym. I'm like, "Wait, you have a tattoo parlor next to your gym?" He's like, "Yeah, man, we do competitive powerlifting now." He's like, "Dude, you do competitive powerlifting?" And we just went into that
Mhm.
instead of a structured whatever. And he was a very cool guy to talk to.
Yeah.
And then finally, I was able to like more naturally flow into it instead of um like holding to it because of all these fancy people and blah blah blah. And then at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you realize they're just people. And what I like doing is I like every now and then to give like the bigger names some shit to just see what they'll do. Where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
like, are you still a normal person or did you drink the Kool-Aid?
Yeah.
Now, some people have drank the Kool-Aid where I'm like, okay, this isn't fun anymore.
Mm.
Whereas but with Cappy, and that's why I love Cappy so much. Jesus fucking Christ. The first time I met him, I was like, "Oh, Aaron Clary. Oh, Aaron Clary."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey, kid, I need you to narrate something for me." So I was like, "Oh, well, of course, Mr. Clary." Oh. Then all of a sudden, he uploaded a video, The Truth, TROOF. I'm like, and I hear him listening to my narration, and he's just laughing at me for not being able to pronounce the TH properly. The, because I pronounced it as an F.
Mm.
And he just laughs. He's like, "Thanks, Jack." And I'm like, "Oh my God, Aaron hates me." And then he's like, "Hey, want to come on my show?" I'm like, "Oh, wait, this is actually a good
Yeah,
thing."
he's giving me shit.
He's giving me shit. And all we do these days is just call each other a homo or
Mm.
whatever and stop sucking Vince's dick. And it's like, amazing guy. But then you have guys who like sniff their own Kool-Aid. It's like, "How did you call me? You're
Mm.
disrespecting me." It's like, bro, really? Talking respect? Because you
Yeah.
make YouTube videos? Like, at
Yeah.
the end of the day, we're just flipping on the switch. All
Mm.
we're doing. And yeah, we're sharing knowledge that we had our trials and tribulations for to gain. Yes, we did. But you're still a normal guy,
Yeah.
you know? You're still a normal guy.
Yeah, you shouldn't lose your grounding like that either. Like there is another person I'm thinking of, and it's the same person I was thinking about earlier. That I feel like I couldn't have this kind of conversation with. Like I don't know if you've ever interviewed somebody or somebody came on your show and like normally once you hang up, you just say like, oh, hey, that was cool, good to talk to you. Just when people don't stick around afterwards or, like you kind of know where they're at. And maybe it is me in some of these situations, maybe it's the other person, but I don't know, man. Like I said, I like the people that I feel like I could have a genuine conversation with. Like you said, like you don't feel like you have to be completely structured with. And
Mm.
sometimes it is you, sometimes it's not. But
Structure doesn't work for me either.
yeah.
I was having a Twitter space and we were talking about interviewing and things like that.
Mm,
And I even said like the day I found my voice was the day I gave up structures.
mhm.
I just I just work better on pulling it out of my ass. I
Yeah,
just
me
do
too, actually. Yeah.
one-on-one, especially like shows like these. I mean, the first show you and I ever did was 3 hours long and could have gone longer. That was amazing. That's when I knew, like, okay, Kyle's good people. But like only on the panel shows, like Rule Zero,
Mm,
it is nice to have an outline.
right.
on rule 0, it's kind of nice to have an outline because you're dealing with like 4 or 5 people, and you kind of want everybody to get a voice in. And now Cappy and I work very well back and forth. We
Mhm.
do. But we've got Fitch in there, we've got Nuke in there, we've got Poe in there, and not everybody's humor is the same.
Yeah.
So you can't ride on winging it alone when it comes to that. And I've
Mhm.
tried. I've tried. Now, when I do one of those, hey, what are you going to do this weekend type of shows, then it works. But with an actual topic, it's like, okay, no, I need some structure. And even then, I reach out to people where it's like, hey, this is the topic. This is kind of which direction I want to go to. Could you help me write an outline? Because that is just a weak spot I have.
Yeah.
And people have had me on, and it's like, yeah, I have a list of questions. I'm like, oh, my sweet summer child. Oh, you have no idea who I am, do you?
Mhm. Yeah, there are some people I notice that can't really riff offhand. For me, I think I'm pretty good at bullshitting
Mm.
in like a good and I shouldn't necessarily say a bad way, but like I do have a way with rambling sometimes, so maybe it is good sometimes to have somebody kind of reel me back in. But at the same time, I also tell people, if I'm going to do an interview or something like that, I don't always tell them like, hey, I'm pretty much good for anything. And I would like to believe I'm kind of talented in multiple different dimensions. So it's like, okay, well, if you want to go fitness, we could do that. Foreign policy, we could
Mhm.
talk that. If you want to talk relationships stuff, we could talk that. But there are some things where I'm going to be honest with you 100% of the time and tell you I don't know. And there is something that I've always get frustrated with people who just won't say, I don't know. Like they have to be right about everything. I'll give speculation, but there's tons of shit that I just don't fucking know.
You know what I hate the most
Hmm.
is when I know something, but I can't think of it. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
where it's like I'm supposed to know this. Like
Mm.
I do, but I don't. It's like then
Yeah.
then I do have a hard time admitting it. I know where it's like, no, I do. Just give me a moment. I do. I do. And Ryan pointed this out. It's like, yeah, when people are bullshitting you, they tend to look up. And I
Mhm.
started paying attention to that behavior. And I've noticed that as soon as I catch myself, it does take longer
Mm.
for me to get where I need to be.
Yeah.
Where it's like, no, wait, I'm trying to bullshit myself. And then I just look down where it's like, no, I'm actually trying to think here. And then you kind of have some dead air every now and then, but at least I know it's like, look, at least I'm not bullshitting now. Which
Mm.
is weird because like Ryan mentioned that where people are bullshitting you, they tend to look
Mm.
up to the right. It's like, oh wow, he's actually right about that. Well, it's not
Yeah.
always the case.
Yeah,
Like,
I
but
when he mentioned that, I remember watching some of the videos that I've done by myself, like solo podcasts, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes I do look up and to the right, but it's not
yeah,
always because I'm bullshitting. Sometimes it's because like I have to think of a way to put it.
at a certain point, it becomes habitual where it's like, no, I
Yeah.
do this when I think, and you do it when you bullshit somebody. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, yeah, but which one is it?
Mm.
And then it's like, well, you know what? Maybe it's just better if I don't do that again.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
then you see it in other people, which is hilarious. And now I know you're bullshitting me. And then you push them a bit. It's like, oh yeah, oh, so it
Mm.
wasn't what you said at first. It's a lovely thing.
Yeah, jazz types versus classical music types. Yeah, well, one thing that kind of came into my mind when I was thinking about that is like when I'm performing, I have to think to not make faces if I fuck something up because I know that like if you don't make a big deal of a fuck up, people don't care. But if you make a big deal out of it, people are like, "Oh, he fucked up."
One of the first things I was learned when performing is whatever you do not stop.
Mhm.
Don't stop. If you make a mistake, keep playing. They will not hear it. You do, but they will not. The audience will.
Yeah, there was a video of a girl singing the national anthem. I think it was before some fucking debate here in the States. It was some third party debate or something like that. The girl was singing the national anthem and she literally stopped and said, "Oh, I fucked it up. Can I start it over?" And they're like, "No, it's live." Like it was so bad. And she went back into it and then she like said it, she fucked up again. And like, you should have just kept going and let it ride
Oh
because like
wow,
no,
that's
like
horrible.
the vast majority of the time when it comes to like concerts or listening to people talk or anything like that, people aren't sitting there looking to pick apart your every move. And even like comedy shows, if people go to like comedy shows, they want to laugh. So what does that mean? They generally want you to be funny. And if you're just slightly there, they're gonna laugh.
What I like about comedians is when they try out new jokes and
Mhm.
then they can make a joke out of when the joke doesn't land.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, I could scrape that one.
Mhm.
Either that or you people aren't funny. And it's like, oh, it's like, oh, so that one keeps you laughing, eh?
Mhm.
Bunch of masochists, bunch of sadists. Masochists, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
sadists. Wait, sadist is the one where you want to hurt somebody else. Masochist is when you want to get hurt. I keep
yeah,
forgetting that.
masochist would be you wanna get hurt, and I think you enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like my dating life. Hi-oh.
Hey!
Hey.
I wish I had like a, some kind of sound effect. I don't know if the slap will work that well for that, but, there is something interesting about being a comedian. I've like I think everybody has like that thought if you've ever been told you're funny before, like, "Oh, I should be a comedian." And then I think about it more and more. I'm like, man, to be one person that has to direct an audience, like, I don't think people understand as like a musician in a band, that's one thing. But even like there's solo guitar parts that I have to play that it's like, you can't fuck this up. But, like, as a comedian, you have to be so much more careful because there's so much more that goes into that because you just have your voice, what you're trying to say, you have to be coherent, and you have to get people to laugh. So, like, there's so many different dimensions that lie just on you, whereas, like, you're in a band, okay, well, if there's 2 guitar players, I could fuck up and things will be, like, good enough that you can
Mhm.
skate by, nobody will care. If you're a singer, you could probably fuck up and still be good enough. But like if it's just you, like just you and an acoustic guitar, if you fuck up, you're fucked. If you're a
Yep.
comedian and you bomb, like, and you're going to bomb, it's how do
Yeah.
you bounce back?
Because like comedy timing is so essential.
Oh yeah.
Timing is so essential. Like my humor would not work as stand up at all.
Mm,
People have told me like you're funny and I'm like, yeah, because I'm talking to you. There's a back and forth. There is a
yeah.
dynamic here. But comedians don't have the dynamic other than with themselves,
Yeah.
which is hard. I
Mhm.
think. I never tried stand up or whatever. Like roasting is even hard. Like I said,
Mhm.
like most of my jokes work in a back and forth.
Yeah.
Because like somebody says something, it's like, hey, that reminds me of this. Oh, I can make a good joke about that. Like, boom.
Mm.
Like with memes, it can work because like it's on the timeline and you make a reference, but like
Yeah.
being on stage and like, what are you gonna do? Because oh, knock knock, who's there? Okay. But what I find like with great comedians, it's always a story. They're
Mhm.
great storytellers. It's not that they're telling jokes; they're actually telling a funny story.
Right.
Like Bill Burr when he adopted his dog. Oh no, his girlfriend adopted his dog. You remember that one? She adopted a pit bull.
Okay.
It's like that's not a dog. It's a fucking pit bull. It's like, oh, don't worry, it's adorable. Meanwhile, it's tightening its mittens behind her back. Fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, it's the ability to communicate effectively, and I mean, this kind of goes back to more of our niche of being podcasters or communicators, however you want to look at it. Is that like specifically more you and me when we talk about like health and fitness stuff? How do you
Mhm.
communicate this stuff so that way people can understand? And maybe I'm not the best at it. I mean, I'll be the first one to admit that. But you know, you I like Ryan's point of you don't understand something well, or like you learn it best when you teach it. Like I know I can teach working on cars pretty well because I can talk about it very, very well. So like if I have someone in front of me, if I need to explain a wiring diagram or something like that, then I can explain that very well. Like if you give me a whiteboard and I show you wires and I explain how one thing gets from one end to the other, then then you're good. But like when it comes to maybe explaining some other stuff, maybe I'm not that good at it because I'm not I couldn't teach people how to podcast or communicate foreign policy or something like that. I could tell you what things are, but like my main thing would be like automotive because that's what I've done my entire life. So I can effectively communicate that because I've been doing it so long.
It's like charisma.
Yeah.
Like Troy Francis came closest
Mm,
with his Cat Academy. Absolute great course. Really, could not recommend more. But like, try to explain charisma. It's like,
mm,
I don't know. I think people have asked me, like, why are you always so confident? I'm like, I don't know. I had a coworker once ask me that when I worked back in the call center. It's like, "How do you do that? You always sound so confident." I'm like, "You wanna know a secret?" He's like, "What?" "I just think I'm better than you." He looks at me like, "Are you?" Like, and then it
You have
continued
to
working.
ask.
And then I just continued working. It just the whole day he kept looking at me like, "What was he serious?"
There definitely is something to that irrational self-confidence that, like, you have to convince yourself of it too, because like I think most people are probably full of doubt. Like you don't think you could do this, you don't think you could do that, but when it comes to talking to people about some stuff, you do have to come off as irrationally self-confident in order to get people to believe
Well,
in,
it's it's also the way how you bring it. Like how I said it to him was with a shit-eating grin on my face. Like
yeah,
he didn't know if I was kidding or not. And that's
yeah,
kind of what I always go for because nobody would expect that answer.
yeah.
But maybe I was thinking I was better than him.
Mhm,
Maybe I looked at him and I was like, "Oh, you're kind of pudgy, aren't you?
mhm.
You don't lift, do you? Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I figured. Oh, another sandwich with Nutella, of course." But I don't tell him that.
Mm.
But I make him doubt. Maybe I like Nutella. Who knows? Maybe I'm jealous of him because I don't eat bread. Maybe I wish my arms were even smaller than they are now. But he
Yeah,
will never know.
yeah, it kinda goes to, like, being a good actor. Like, a lot of my coworkers think sometimes when I'm, like, yelling or fucking with people that I'm actually angry. I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm perfectly fine. Like, I'm just fucking with you."
Oh,
Like,
I
you have
raise
to
my brother and I raise our voice all the time. I'm not actually mad. We do that all the time. People think I don't yell for my Toyota Tacoma because I'm angry.
like, "This is just me, man. Just take it or leave it." Like, you don't know if I'm acting or not. You could
Mhm.
probably assume that 90% of the time if I'm angry or if it seems like I'm angry, I'm probably fucking with you, but you don't know that.
Anger is the one thing I can't fake.
Mm,
Anger really is the one thing I can't fake because I hate it. I hate being like when I get angry, I like it turns to 12.
yeah,
And I always do it in very short bursts of energy
yeah,
and I cannot fake that for
mm,
some odd reason. I just can't. Like I can what I can do, like being upset, I can fake that. Where it's like, "Oh, never mind."
mm,
And I just be a dick. I just like being a fun dick. But like actually angry, I don't know because like it takes a lot out of me to get to get that volume,
yeah.
and I hate it. Like I've been angry at a couple of people, and the volume was just like, and it wasn't like this high pitched, just loud. No, it was like this boom. I
You're
got
going
that from my dad. Yeah, Boris is just jealous. Nobody wants to podcast with him.
yeah, yeah, of course. Well, go see if, you can figure out if the old lady can fit another anal bead in there. You said you were up to 3, so I don't
Uh,
know, man. You'll have to, report back. No, for
vulgar,
me, I'm really good
vulgar
at being
language and dick jokes.
yeah, yeah,
It's
that's the way
like
to go.
we got quality right there.
Mm, I'm,
See, I'm just fucking with him. Boris is amazing.
oh, yeah, he is. I'm pretty good at raising my voice, and I don't wanna say acting, but, like, I think I've sufficiently fucked with people where they thought I was angry, like, in the workplace, and I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm just fucking with you, like, you're fine."
Mhm.
And for me, like, I'm not an angry person, I'm very, very, very laid back, like, I can't think of a time to be completely honest with you, in the last I could not tell you the last time I was, like, irrationally angry where I felt like I need to freak the fuck out. Because, like, for me, if I'm starting to get angry, I can normally step back and, like, talk myself out of it. Like, is this reasonable? Is it worth being angry? Should I be angry? I don't know. But the vast majority of the time, I can normally talk myself off the ledge.
Like agitated, I do get quickly,
Oh, yeah.
but like angry, it is always a conscious decision if I go there.
Yeah.
My dad got me there, where it's like he
Mhm.
just made one remark, and I was like, and I just went off. I just went
Go.
off. Where it's like, yeah, that was a
Mm.
conscious decision. Where it's like, no, I need to do this right now. I have to feel better. I need to.
Yeah, there are times where it's necessary to drop the hammer. I can't say I've ever really I can't remember the last time I had really felt like I had to do that.
Mhm. half frozen finger. Oh yeah. Oh, that's gotta hurt. Blow rush is common. Angriest I ever got in a shop was when I hit my half frozen finger with a wielding hammer. Like,
Ooh,
you know that
okay.
feeling when like you've got cold hands and you hit the zipper of your coat?
Mm.
That already hurts. I don't know
Yeah,
why. It's
yeah,
just this small metal thing, and yeah, it's like, ah.
yeah. Being a mechanic in Pennsylvania, specifically around this time of year, funny enough, because if I open these blinds, you're going to see snow out back. Um, oh, listen, there is nothing worse than slipping your hand when it's freezing out and just banging it up. I mean, I have. You can't really see any of the scars on my hand, but oh, I promise you, there are plenty. You can't
Mm,
really see. I was looking at older pictures, and I remember it was the weekend that we were supposed to open for, or that we did open for Hinder and played that Rock for Life show. We
yeah.
have these little bottles of OptiClean, which is like this real strong wiper fluid concentrate.
I remember this story.
I went to go light it with a lighter because it shoots off like a rocket and it burnt like all in between my fingers, which like having a burn right there, awful. One of the worst things ever. God,
Imagine
it
a
sucks a
paper cut
butt.
right there. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, I remember watching, I think what was it, Jackass 2, where they like opened Johnny Knoxville's mouth or Steve-O's mouth and were giving him a paper cut in between his
Oh,
toes, on the edges of his lips. I'm like, oh,
oh. I mean, those guys from Jackass, man, it's like, oh, that television doesn't even exist anymore. That was such a 90s, early 2000s thing.
yeah. I think the last Jackass was Jackass. You know what? Was there a
Three?
Jackass 3? 3? Oh, it was Jackass 3D, 2010.
Really?
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
it
that's
was.
got to be like Bam Majera, guys like that. That just doesn't exist
Wait,
anymore.
there was a Jackass. There was a Jackass 4 too.
Lol. What? Really?
2022. Oh, I didn't even know.
Really? That must have bombed.
No, it looked like it actually did pretty good. 4.5, number 2, Jackass Forever. Didn't a 3.5? Oh, there's
Hmm.
all sorts of fucking Jackass movies that I just had no idea even existed.
Wow. I
Huh.
remember the most horrible skit that I've ever seen them do. They had like a porta potty
Oh,
and everybody went
no.
in it. And then they pulled a prank on Johnny Knoxville.
And flipped it.
They flipped it. It's like,
Oh.
oh, ugh. I remember seeing that. I just started to gag where it's like,
Do
oh
you
my.
remember when they ate dry dog shit?
No, I do not remember that one.
Oh, yeah, they literally took fucking dog shit and then ate it. I'm like,
Oh
"Oh,
my god.
fucking Christ." Or, yeah, Steve-O, they put a hook through Steve-O's cheek and put him into the fucking ocean to swim with a shark.
These guys, man. I do remember
Oh,
Steve-O is now like sober or
yeah,
something. Yeah. I mean, good for him. Good for
yeah.
him. He
Fuck, you
kind of
had to be on some fucking heroin to do some of the shit they did.
yeah, he gotta be where it's like no sane man would do that.
Oh,
I know
fuck.
Wee Man died.
Oh, did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Wee Man died.
Huh. That
Knoxville's still kicking somewhere.
who was it? The uncle, Uncle Vito, didn't he pass away too? Bam's dad?
I don't know. Like, and whatever happened to Bam
Hmm.
with his is him still going?
I think so.
Bam?
I looked them up a while back, and I listened to what the hell was it? Wings of a Butterfly and Killing Loneliness, because those were like big songs when I was in like elementary school. And I
Uh,
went back and listened to them, like, oh, these are actually like not bad. They're not amazing, but yeah.
Jesus, Bam got a face tattoo. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like
Bam started looking like his dad.
these guys just do not age well.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
No.
but they're rich and famous. Yeah, but at what price? What cost?
Yeah, dude, that goes back to like the whole chasing the clout thing. Like, do you really want to be famous? Like, you see some of these celebrities, and it seems like their lives, like, yeah, they may have all the money in the world, but like you said, at what cost?
I mean, same as the guys from Jackass. It really cost them their dignity. And I mean, I can sit here like, oh, my dignity and blah, blah, blah. They have more money than I will ever see. But what do they do with it? I always wonder, or it's like, has it filled the void? You know,
Yeah.
has it filled the void? Maybe I'm moral fagging here. Apologies. Moral grandstanding here. But I don't know. I don't see it. Like the Kardashians, I get those girls have so much money.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna change. I think like what's his name? Blink 182. God damn it.
Tom DeLonge.
Travis. No, Travis
Oh,
Barker.
Travis
Travis
Barker. Yeah.
Barker. He looks fine. He doesn't
Yeah.
do weird shit. He did the Barkers, that reality TV show.
Mhm.
He didn't seem too off at all. Wasn't like, yeah, he had the tattoos everywhere, but he wasn't some. I don't know. He didn't look like the Bam Margera jackass type, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, we have to be crazier, we have to be bigger, we have to be more nuts, we have to be more dangerous. It's like,
Yeah, I
okay.
think about like Zach Wild and Dimebag Darrell, who are like my two icons for human beings and guitar players. If you looked up, if you ever get the chance to watch Dime Vision, it's like that lifestyle where they have like this big old house, all the guitars. You could want slot machines downstairs. You do whatever you want. Setting off fireworks with your friends and shit. Like that seems pretty cool. Or like Zach Wild, who one day I think he had a blood clot in his leg or something like that, and then he just went cold turkey from drinking. He used to be, everybody knew Zach Wild loved to drink, and then just one day he decided, all right, can't do it anymore. Just has not had a drink since. That was like 2009 or something like that. And you look at Zach Wild, he is fucking, he has a six pack. He's fucking
Really?
diced. Yeah, fucking Zach Wild's
Zach Wild?
diced. Yeah, I'll see if I can find a picture. But yeah, Zach Wild's fucking diced.
Roids.
I mean, maybe, but yeah,
TRT probably, but can you blame him? I mean,
no,
I'd do TRT at 40.
fucking dude's like, pretty sure he's like mid 50s right now. But yeah, fucking dude's jacked.
2023, 2024. Let's see.
Okay, so these are older, but yeah, like Zach Wild would be like where I'd want to be, where he has money,
Oh
but
yeah.
like he never like
Oh
ruined his life.
Jesus!
Fuck yeah, Zach's a fucking animal.
That's more than TRT.
Yeah, maybe, but like oh yeah, and then there you go. Look at that.
Hold up.
Yeah, that's all right.
Physique. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Holy shit. Yeah, look at those arms.
yeah, I would want to look like that when I'm his age. Like, he's not like enormous, but he's lean and he looks fucking good. Like that's good enough for me when I'm his age. However old, how old is Zach Wild? I think he's like 56 or something like that.
He's actually pretty fucking big.
Yeah, but like he's not like bodybuilder huge. You know what I mean? Like he looks like he could be. Yeah, 57. He looks like he could be on some shit, but like at the same time, like good enough.
Yeah.
Fuck, if I'm old and I just have some definition and all that shit, so be it. I want to be able to be like 60 years old, still pulling like 400 pounds. I'll be plenty happy at that point.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, same here. That's why I'm like glad that the whole lifting thing is just habitual now. It's a habit.
Exactly.
It's like I lift. Although this week I had I'm like, yeah, no. I've trained like a couple of weeks full, like nonstop. I'm like, you know what? Give yourself a break. Sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't still even fully able to give myself a break. Fully.
Mm.
I just didn't squat.
But I mean, like all literature I've ever read on this, and people I've talked to about it all pretty much say like, hey, yeah, if you take a week off, you're going to be more than fine.
Oh yeah.
I had Dr. Bill Campbell on. He runs a research review and also runs he publishes studies out of the University of Florida. And he sent me one of the studies that he reviewed, and it wasn't perfect, but it kind of displayed how deloads can kind of work. Where I think it was like one group worked out consistently over the course of the study, and then one group would be like 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, and they both came damn near to the same point by the end of the study. So like if you were to tighten that up and maybe go like consistently, and then 2 weeks on, 1 week off, 2 weeks on, 1 week off, I guarantee you that like you're not going to lose anything by taking time
what
off.
I usually do is 4 to 6 weeks constant training.
Yeah.
And then I take a week off. It's like, I've done what I did. And then we move on. And then I just take the weight I used in the last week of that training session. And then I just continue with that. Because like
Yeah.
at a certain point, doesn't for me it doesn't really matter anymore how much I lift, and
Mhm.
more about that I lift. Like
Right.
315 squat, maybe one day, maybe, but like, and then what? You know, I'd rather be fit at 40. That to me would be a flex alone. Where it's like, yeah, you're still fit at 40. It's like, yeah, I am. What are you gonna do
Yeah.
about it? How much you bench, bro? Like, doesn't matter. At least I still
No.
bench. You know how many 40-year-olds bench? Not a lot.
Exactly. And that's like my thing. I've really begun to believe that aging is mostly bullshit. Like there definitely is a factor. Like you're probably going to lose some strength and you're probably going to slow down as you get older. But like the vast majority of it is a choice. And
Oh
I
yeah,
think a lot of people like they don't realize it, but it's because they never picked up the habit and remained consistent.
I made a whole Substack about that.
Mhm.
I made a whole Substack about that. Um, about the fear of being old.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing about the fear of being old. You know what? I'm gonna plug it if you're okay with that.
No, of course, dude. You're the
Plug.
one being interviewed here.
Ugh, interviewed.
And not even really an interview, more of just kind of
I'm
shooting shit
hanging
back
out
and
with my
forth.
friend. That's what I'm doing. Hanging
Yeah,
out
it
with
just
my
so
friend.
happens to be live too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not
But
much
yeah, I
that.
mean, like I feel better right now at 30 years old than I did when I was like 19 to 22. And that is 100% the truth because I was 250 pounds. And I've told people this ad nauseum when it came to like losing weight and everything like that. Like that really fixed a lot of issues that I thought were just like innate things that were always going to be wrong with me.
Yeah,
Being
exactly.
250 pounds where I had, how do I want to put it for YouTube friendly terms? An ideation of something that could potentially end your life. Yeah,
Uh,
that kind of stuff, and just like mood swings and aches and pains. I'm like, oh, this is just part of getting old. Like this is what you deal with as you age. And then like come to find out, oh no, if you just quit being a fat ass, then that all goes away.
oh
And
yeah,
like,
I refuse to succumb to it. Where it's like, oh, this is just age. No, it isn't. I'll fight
yeah,
against it. Where it's like,
right.
no way in hell. Like when I dislocated those vertebrae,
Mhm.
at first I thought like, oh my god, is this my life now? Like needing to watch for injuries. No, you dipshit. You just pushed it too hard, and you know you did.
Right.
Nothing to do with age. Everything to do with stupidity.
Yeah.
Like even friends around me where it's like, well, you're 30, you're gonna get you're gonna have a little bit of a belly. It's like, no, I won't.
Yeah, fuck you, I will.
Fuck you, I won't. I'll be ripped at 40. I'll be ripped at 35. Like best thing I ever did was get ripped at 26. Something like that. I
Fuck
can't even
yeah.
remember. And now, like, because I know how to do it, it's easy. Like if I want to diet down again, I'll just take off one egg of my meal a day where it's like, okay, and then we go from there. And then when I stagnate, I'll take off another egg or maybe 25 grams of rice. It's not that hard. It really is not that hard. Although I am eating pizza tonight, which I am so looking forward to.
Yeah, dude, fucking go enjoy. I hogged out a little bit more than I probably should have yesterday, but it's fucking Thanksgiving. We're up in a fucking woodland resort with my family,
Nice.
and there was fucking unlimited dessert. My dad paid, I think he paid almost $500 for this fucking dinner between me, and I mean it was like for 9 people, you could eat Thanksgiving food, so kind of worth it. But what am I gonna do? Sit there and just pick at
Did
scraps?
did you see what I sent you? Um the two pizza slices?
Mm-mm.
I sent it in the
Oh, no,
in
no,
the
no, I think I remember what you're talking about. Yeah, was it like these enormous pizza eating challenges?
Not even,
No,
not
okay.
even. They were like the biggest pizza slices in the world, and it was in Chicago. And
Uh,
I look at that and I'm like, first of all, this was taken from me. Second,
yeah, that's right.
second, I could have destroyed that.
Yeah.
Look at the video. It's in the post zero chat. I even send it
Mhm.
to you privately. It was
Yeah.
it was stupid. Like the biggest slices in the world. I'm like, I have double that on Friday night. It's like I
Mhm.
could easily wreck that.
Yeah, I look at a lot of these eating challenges and like, man, I could probably do this. Another
Yeah.
thing to aging. Hold on, I got a picture of. I don't know how well you could see. That's my bass player, Steve. He's fucking 55 years old.
Nice.
Right. He's got definition, and we talk about this shit all the time. He's like, "Yeah, man, if I wanna lose weight and get in shape and, more visual abs, then just gotta cut out the beer, gotta,
Yeah.
run a little bit more." He's fucking 55. He could squat till his nuts touch the fucking floor. He could
Jesus.
raise his fucking leg up over his head and shit. Oh yeah, dude's in great shape.
Dude, I see that.
55.
That is such a good side effect of working at that gym. I keep
Yeah.
seeing older dudes just
Yeah.
going at it, going
Fuck
after it.
yeah.
And I'm like, it can be done.
Yeah.
There is hope. My kickboxing instructor, I always thought that guy was like mid 40.
Yeah.
Turns out it was 58.
Holy fuck.
The guy's nearly 60. I'm like,
Yeah,
are
that's
you
awesome.
kidding me?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I am 58. I'm like, dude, there's hope. And he just
Even
starts laughing. He's
my
got a
par-
wife. He's got a wife somewhere like early 40s, like
Yeah.
way younger than he is. Did competitive bikini competition.
Yeah.
It's got the works done. It's like, my man.
Rock and roll, dude.
Rock and roll, dude.
Yeah, dude. I look at shit like that, and that kind of gives me hope. My parts manager, well, not parts manager, but probably one of the best people I've ever worked with, my buddy Billy. I remember when I first met him, I'm like, oh, he's probably in like his 30s or something like that. He's like, oh no, I'm like 55. And like, yeah, he could definitely put on a little bit of muscle mass, but I mean, he's like lean. He goes for walks every single morning. It's like, yeah, dude, it's really like if you maintain it and you don't let yourself go and you just make a conscious effort at staying fit, you'll be fine for most of your
Dude,
life.
moisturize, man. Moisturize, exfoliate, use a little bit of skin serum. Like I said, at the gym, they keep thinking I'm 26, 27. It's like, fine with me. Fine with me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm signing up for it. I can't wait to be 40.
Mhm.
That would be great. That would be the thing where it's like, okay, we're 40 now. I do hope I'm somewhere else than where I am now. Like no more living with the roommate, even though it doesn't affect me that much.
Yeah.
But it's more like, I kind of want an apartment. I would really
Mm.
love an apartment, you know that?
Mhm.
Just a beachside real estate. That's what I
Oh,
want.
yeah.
That's what I want. But an apartment somewhere, like a nice white condo.
Yeah.
A little bit of modern furniture here and there. Sometimes I think like and a nice view over the beach, over the ocean, where it's like, yeah, I'm fine.
Yes.
I mean, nothing is in there, in all
Mm.
honesty. Like, it's gonna be the meme, like, men can live like this and think there's nothing wrong. There's
Yes,
gonna
we
be
can.
there's like a 100-inch TV and a mattress on the floor. Like, what the hell is this? It's like, I'm here for the view and just sit on my mattress.
Yeah, pretty much for me, if I had like my ideal place, I would have like an enormous garage apartment where like one side of the garage you could fit like 4 cars, the other side would be like this enormous gym with everything you could possibly want to just kill yourself with. And
Mhm.
then upstairs, you have like a decent sized kitchen with like a smoker in there, and then like, a decent sized stove and a grill and some shit. And then there's like a living room with an enormous TV and bean bags, and then a
Oh,
bedroom with an enormous bed with blackout curtains. Like that for me would be perfect. And
yep.
then, like down in Florida or something like that. Like Sarah and I were talking about taking our camper down to Florida, and which we wouldn't do because that would just be absolutely insane. But like what if we left our camper somewhere down in Florida and just parked it there? So like we could just be like, hey, we're gonna go fly down and chill in our camper. We'll be able to cook all our food, and like we already like staying in our camper. That'd be pretty fucking cool.
It would, wouldn't it? Life ain't so bad.
No, no, not at all, man.
Life really ain't so bad.
Yeah.
All I need now is a thin-waisted, blonde, big-titted girl, and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's all I want, man. That's all I need. And give me
Well,
one. Give me one, and I'll be happy. At least, maybe, but who knows? It's an
yeah.
eternal thing, happiness. I don't care.
Yeah, happiness is a nice set of tits.
Thank you.
You know what, dude? I think we'll wrap her up there. I gotta
Now
get
we're gonna
rolling
wrap
here
up. I
soon.
could have gone for a while.
Yeah,
I
well,
lied.
we're gonna go get our seafood bowl here in a little bit, which I'm
Oh, nice.
stoked for. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get the spiciest fucking crab. I already know how this is gonna be. I'm gonna get crab, shrimp, broccoli, and sausage with the hottest fucking shit they got.
Wait, they serve Sidney Thompson? Ayo.
Jesus.
Can I have Sidney Sweeney on the side?
Please, please.
Served au naturel.
Yes, I can look at that shit all day. Go ahead and plug your shit. We'll bullshit for a little bit off air.
Oh, we will, man. I will plug my shit. As for now, what I want people to do is follow me on Substack. That's really what I would like. I'm where am I? I am at 800. Oh, I got to tell you something about the Substack in a moment, by the way. Remind me. 868.
Holy hell.
So, end of the year, I'd like to get at least 900. I know that I'm not going to make the 1,000. I know that's not going to happen. But 900. If you like my writing, I'd prefer you to follow me there. That's all I ask. If you like my writing. If you don't like my writing, please let me know what you don't like about it, and maybe I can change it, or I will tell you to fuck off, depending on what mood I am. I'm
One
not
of the two.
bipolar. You are. What was I saying? Who are you?
All right, everybody. Jack, if you have anything else, we'll call her there.
No, man. Thanks for having me. I always have
Of
fun
course.
hanging out with you.
Nice. Julian, thank you. Yes. Everybody subscribe. Yeah, subscribe to Jack. And if you so choose, you can become a channel member here for $2.99 a month, where you'll get some footage of A Common Crown. And I think we're going to have some more. I'm going to try to get those videos off of my buddy Jazz. But, oh, yeah, that's right. Jazz's Rock and Roadshow. If you want to see our live performance in my buddy Jazz's basement studio, it's going to be airing if you go to musicfromthe412.com in about 10 minutes. It's going to be airing again. Jazz's Rock and Roadshow, music from the 412. We played 5 or 6 songs and did a little interview. It was a ton of fun. Go over to Music from the 412 if you want to see this. And we did play a new song that we don't have out yet called The Fringes. Really dig it. Sounded really good. The studio sounded awesome. I thought we sounded awesome. So if you want to check that out, go over there. And yeah, I think that's it. Jack, thanks for coming on. And we'll call her there.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. All right, everybody. Till next time.